Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elise. Thank you so much for watching. So for today's video, I decided to go ahead and do something a little crazy but cool. I don't know, I'm super excited for it. I decided to do kind of like a challenge as well. It's $1 eyeshadows. So I have a palette and a liquid eyeshadow that are $1 a piece, and so I'm gonna do a look over that I really like doing super inexpensive looks and using super inexpensive products. I just feel like you can get a really good outcome and not have to spend a lot of money to achieve it. So yeah, I am super excited to do this video. This is actually the second time I will be filming this video. The first time it was kind of a mess, and my camera was out of focus for the last like half of the video, and so that was not fun. And then just a couple other things. I could not talk in that video as well. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, so I'm super excited to be refilming this for you guys. So if you have any kind of suggestions or recommendations that you would like for me to try, just go ahead and leave those down in the comments below, or go and follow me on Instagram at @EveliseMarie_makeup, and just go ahead and leave any comments there as well, or send me any messages on there. I'm trying to be super active on there, and so I would just like to be able to connect with y'all on that. But without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the tutorial. Okay, so first off, I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Yeah, this is a must-have with me. I feel like I use this product so much and it is so good. I have been using a little less of it actually. I really am just focusing it on my nose, a place where I tend to see the pores the most. So I'm just focusing it mainly there, a little on my forehead and stuff. But yeah, so I just really want that to kind of blur out any pores that I may have. And as you can tell, that has kind of like a pink sheen to it. Yeah, I love this stuff. It is so good. If you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you would know that this is like my go-to. And actually, I'm going to be doing things a little differently than normal. I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow first, just because there may be a little bit of fallout with this palette, and so just to go ahead and avoid that, I'm just going to do my eyes first, and that way I can just go in and finish up my face makeup afterwards, just so I kind of don't mess up what I have. There's usually not a lot of fallout when I use it on the face. I've used this palette a few times before, but there is a lot of kickback in the pan, and so that's why I just want to make sure that like there's no fallout on my face. So I will first off just prime my eyes using my Revlon Photo Ready Candid Concealer. This is in the shade 55. This is also a must-have of mine. I've been using this so much as well lately. This has been like so nice. So I'm just going to use this eyeshadow brush from Wet n Wild. It's just kind of like a flat brush that you can kind of pack on your lid. I'm just using this one, and I'm just going to blend this concealer all the way up to my brows. I'm just going to try to take that and make it as smooth as possible. Okay, now that I'm done blending all of that, I'm going to go in with my highlighting powder. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette, and I'm going to be using the powder in here. And it is more of a highlighting powder, which is why I'm going to use it for my eyes. But yeah, I just needed to go ahead and set my eyes, so I'm just going to be using this powder. It is it is pretty light. I don't really use this on my under eyes too much. I just really use this on my eyes whenever I'm going to set it. Occasionally I'll do that. But yeah, this isn't a powder I use all of the time, but every time I have actually used it, it's looked really nice on. So yeah, I'm just going to set my eyes with this, and I just actually used that same brush that I put the contour on. I just went ahead and used that same brush. Okay, and now I'm going to be taking my eyeshadow palette. This is the Eyeshadow Pro palette from Hard Candy. It's a Look Pro Matte Eyeshadow Pro palette. I don't really know if that's the full name of it or if it even really has a name, but yeah. So there are 6 colors, I believe. Yeah, 6 colors in this palette. It's very fall-ish, so I'm super excited. Once again, I've used this multiple times, but I have not used it in a video yet. I just thought it'd be really cool just to go ahead and film this video for you guys. Yeah, so I'm going to actually be taking this shade first. It looks very similar to that powder that I just used from the other palette, but I'm just going to get that same brush and just put that on my lids as well. And I'm just taking a little bit of this color. I'm not taking a lot. Now I'm going to go in with that lightest brown shade right there. Once again, they don't have names, so I'm telling you, there is so much kickback on this palette. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so I'm just going to blend this, take this and blend it all out. There is, even though there is a lot of kickback, this is actually a very easy eyeshadow to use. You just have to be careful like putting it on your brush, but it actually blends very, very well. It goes on super easy. And yeah, so it's just very easy to use. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for that color. Now I'm going to be taking that shade right beside it, which is that orange shade. It's like kind of like a burnt orange color, and it's really, really pretty. It's like the perfect fall shade. So I'm going to be taking that as well and just deepening up that crease a little bit, just to go ahead and add a little bit of dimension to that. I'm going in with a kind of light hand on these shades, just because I want to build it up rather than have to worry about blending and blending and blending too much later on. So I'm just kind of taking my time just to build it up. So yeah, so I'm going with a very light hand. I'm holding the brush kind of further down than I normally would. Okay, and now I'm actually going to be using this deeper, like almost a red tone shade. I'm going to be using that. I really don't think I'm going to take this brown today, because I don't really want it to be super, super deep. But I'm just going to be taking that red shade and using that just to deepen up the crease. And I'm taking this e.l.f. contour brush, yeah, the contour brush. And I'm going to be using this just to deepen up the crease. And I'm only taking this from the outer corner, and I'm only bringing it about halfway. I actually really haven't used this reddish shade that much. Usually I just go straight in for that deep brown color, but I don't know, I'm actually liking this red shade. And I'm once again just going in super light-handed because I like building it up. Okay, and I lied. I actually think I'm going to dip into this deep brown color. Yeah, I wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to now, just to give it a little bit more something. I'm literally going to go so lightly into this color though. I don't want a ton of it. I just want a little bit something extra. Like, that's probably good actually. And I'm putting it just once again halfway, like I did the red shade, just because I want this to look very light. I want it to look deep, but not too deep. So now I'm going to take the same brush that I used in the first place and just blend all of this together. So I'm not putting any extra product on that brush. I'm just blending this all out. Okay, and I feel like this looks a little too harsh on the top for me. I really wanted a very light look on the top. So I'm actually going to dip back into this light-ish, yellowish toned shade. And I'm just going to lightly dip into that and use it at the top just to go over the very, very top right underneath the brow bone. I'm just going to be using that just to soften up any edges. That way it doesn't look too heavy or too harsh. And it'll start to kind of make the brow bone, it'll give it a little bit of a glow. Just because it's already going to be a lighter color. And once again, I'm going in so lightly, like you can hardly even tell I'm doing this, but I'm building this up. I'm going in, I'm wanting to avoid fallout, but I'm also wanting to just make this look super, super soft. And I'm just going to take this powder brush and just kind of lightly wipe away anything and just kind of lightly soften the edges on the corner just in case any fallout happened, which in all honesty, there really wasn't any fallout. Okay, so now I am going in with the lid shade, and I'm actually going in with a liquid eyeshadow. This is the e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow. It's called the Molten Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Liquid Gold. It's very, very bright. It's actually really pigmented as well. Like a little goes a long way. And I'm actually going to be using a brush for this. It has a doe foot applicator, which is really, really nice. But you can tell like there's a lot of product on there, so I'm actually going to scrape some of it off just a little bit. And then I'm just going to put that on my lid. Just all over my lid, just a thin layer of that. Then I'm going to use this brush. This is a brush that came in one of my palettes. I honestly don't even know which one. I really don't use this, but I thought it'd be perfect for this. So I'm just going to use this to blend this all out, just to kind of spread it out everywhere on the lid. And once again, this is something I'm going to be layering on as well. I didn't want to come on too harshly with that. So I'm just layering it a little bit at a time. I'm probably making the weirdest faces right now, honestly, but it's okay. Okay, now I'm going to go in and do the same thing on the other side. This side actually looks a tiny bit brighter than this side, so I'm going to go and take the slightest amount right in the center and just blend that out just to give it a little bit more pizzazz, you know? I don't know why I said pizzazz. I never use that word. This is actually a pretty good brush to use for this. Like I said, I never really use this brush, but I don't know. I feel like the lighting is changing. I feel like it looks a little bit dark. Okay, so now I actually really, really like the way that looks. And I will come back and finish my eyes later, but now I'm just going to go in and do my face. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my concealers. I am taking the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Concealers in the shade 55 and 65. These are this one is the shade I use to prime or to prep my eyes for the eyeshadow. So I'm just going to be taking this. I'm using more of 55 just because this is more my color right now. 65 is a bit dark for me. But I feel like I just want to add a little bit more just to make sure it blends in a little better with my skin. I'm going to be using 65 as well on my forehead, on my chin, and as you can tell, I have a little or a big little scar right there. Hopefully that goes away soon. We don't like that. Okay, now I'm taking that 65 and I'm just going to put a few dots of this. Now I'm going to be taking this beauty sponge and I'm just going to be blending all of this together. So I'm going to first off start off with my under eyes just because that's the one that I don't want to dry as fast. Sometimes it has a tendency to dry down a little. So I'm just going to quickly go in and do my under eyes first, and then I will do the rest of the face. Well, I actually really like the way that looks. I know I said I was going to do my eyes first, but I just wanted to go ahead and blend that. Yeah, I'm really, really liking the way this looks, and I'm also being pretty careful around my eyes, around the end of the eyes. As you can tell, I'm kind of coming out, but I'm going at an angle just so that way the eyeshadow looks a little more kind of defined, I guess is the right word to use for that. So now I just took this end and started using that one to blend all of this out. And I put it on my chin and on my nose and on my forehead just because I want to kind of highlight the like top parts of my face. So kind of you want to highlight the places where you're going to first off see. So like that's why whenever you put highlight on, some people put it on their nose, on their cheeks. Some people even put it on their chin and on their forehead, but I don't do that. I just do it on my cheekbones and on my nose and bridge of my nose. But yeah, so that's why I put on concealer in those places. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with my contour, my cream contour, and this is the NYX Conceal Correct and Contour Palette. Once again, the one I use all of the time. And I'm going to be dipping in to just this top shade. I'm not really going to be using that deep shade. I may like tap once into it, but yeah, I guess I'll tap once into it. But I'm mainly just going to be using that top shade just because I don't want to go too heavy with the bronzer. And so I'm just going to kind of move my hair out of my face because sometimes it'll get caught. So I'm just going to tap on, first off, I'm going to start by tapping this cream contour into my hollows of my cheeks, and then I'm going to start with the kind of circular motions just to blend that. And the reason I go in with circular motions is to make sure it looks as soft as possible. I don't want it to be looking too harsh. I want it to look really soft and smooth and natural. So patting it, or tapping it into the hollows of my cheeks first. Then now, circular motions to blend this. But yeah, I mean, I have been going a tiny bit heavier with my bronzer, with the cream bronzer, just because I feel like I have lost a tiny bit of color because it's not like 100 degrees outside anymore. Okay, sorry guys, my camera just kind of shut off really quickly, so I hope it caught that last part, but I had just said I used the Be a Small Face round brush, in case you're wondering. I feel like actually going in with this brush with the cream helps so much better because it is a little stiffer than the other brush I use, and so I really like using that one. Okay, now I'm going to be taking my Revlon Photo Ready Cheek Flushing Tint in the shade 004 Posy, and this is just my liquid blush, and I'm actually not going to be taking as much of this. I'm just going to be using a little bit of it, and I'm going to build it up. So I'm just putting a drop on each side of my cheeks, and just going to smile and just tap that into place because I really don't want a lot. I feel like I've been putting a lot on lately. I've been going a little overboard with it. Okay, don't hate me. I'm actually going to go in a tiny bit more. I'm going to put just another small drop. And then I'm just going to tap the rest in on my nose. And the reason I do this is just to kind of, I feel like it gives it kind of like a rosy, kind of like sun-kissed look to my nose, and so I just go ahead and just add a little bit of that. I don't add a lot. Okay, now I am finally going to set my face, and I am using the LA Girl Pro Face HD Matte Pressed Powder in the shade Nude Beige. And it does look a bit light for me, but it actually really does not look that light when I put it on. At least I don't think so. Y'all may disagree, but I don't feel like it's like super light complex, like makes it look super like light for me. I don't know, but, and I also really like this. I've used it a few times in the first video that I had filmed about this look, like with the whole $1 makeup, the very first one I did, because once again, like I said, I had to refilm it, so that's why I'm refilming it. But I used this for the very first time and I loved it. And I talked about in that video how I feel like powder sometimes, for me at least, can dry out my under eyes. Like it can make my under eyes feel so dry for like no reason. I literally have no idea. I know they have kind of like hydrating powders, but I don't really know because I feel like that actually might make me look too oily. So I haven't tried a hydrating powder yet. If you have, let me know what you think, like what your take on that is. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my brows, and guys, I am so excited because I got my pencil. I got the new pencil that I have been wanting. The Rimmel London eyebrow pencil, professional eyebrow pencil in the shade 002 Hazel. If you've been watching my videos once again for any amount of time, you would know that this is like my favorite brow product like ever. I've used so many products and I really feel like this is just like my favorite. Like I come back to this one all the time and it just works so well. Okay guys, sorry for all the lighting changes. Something is going on. The lighting just keeps changing outside. I film with natural lighting and so it just keeps changing like all the time. But yes, I'm super excited once again for my brow pencil. I actually, if I remember correctly, you need to sharpen it before you use it the first time, just because I feel like that works the best. So I'm literally just lightly gonna sharpen it. Just like to take that first layer off. I feel like that just kind of helps blend the product. I mean, it just makes it easier for you to use the product. The first time I used it, I was not happy because I was like, why is this not working? I was like, it's very like hard to use. I feel like I was having to press kind of like a little harder than I should have, and it really wasn't coming through. But then after I sharpened it the first time, it worked like super well, and so ever since then I've like had to I remember to sharpen it every time, because once again I've used these pencils for so long and I've used so many of them. Yeah, so I just love the difference between this brow and this brow. This pencil is, I'm so glad I have it back. So as you can tell, it looks very funny right now because I just drew the top part and the bottom part. But I have not filled it in yet or anything, so that's why it looks a bit funny. But I did just want to show you what it would look like just tracing it, the top part and then the bottom part, and then just drawing some hairs up here. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give y'all or kind of show y'all what it looks like, and so kind of just the difference it makes just by filling it in. And this is like a little bit of a lighter shade on me, but I feel like when I've used this in the past, I've said I love that I can build this product up rather than some products I use and it's way too dark on me, and I have to like try to blend and it just does not look that great. So now I'm just taking this spoolie from BS Small and I'm just going to spoolie through my brows just to make sure that the product is distributed evenly, and just so that way it does not look kind of crazy or some parts look darker than others. I just want this to look very even, and I am loving these brows today. I love this pencil so much, and like not using it for a little bit and then coming back and using it, it's just like amazing. I just need to add a tiny bit more right here. I hope if any of you ever use this product, I'm like not hyping it up too much because I don't know. I mean, we all have our preferences. Okay, now before I actually put on some mascara, I'm going to go back in to my eyeshadow. And like I said, I'm just going to add a tiny bit on my bottom lash line. So I'm just going to be dipping into this lightest brown right here and then this orange. And I'm not going to use any of the other colors. I'm just going to lightly be tapping into those just to give my bottom lashes some definition as well. Because sometimes I feel like it can look a little funny if I don't have anything on the bottom. If I have kind of like a deeper color and then nothing on bottom, it kind of doesn't balance it out totally. So I'm just going to use this eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. I believe. Yeah, this e.l.f. eyeshadow brush and just kind of blend this underneath my eye. And I am going to come a little bit lower than normal just because it is a pretty light color. So I don't have to worry about it being super heavy or whatever because I'm not using the deeper colors on this look. And so I am just going to kind of attach these two colors, just let them meet in the middle to kind of get to give it a nice cohesive kind of transition between the two lashes. Okay, I lied again. I think I'm going to dip into that reddish, the deep red color, and I'm just going to put it just on the outer half. I'm not going to bring that in all the way. I'm just literally using it on the outer half. And like I said the other day, I really am liking this particular brush for my lash line, the bottom lash line. I just feel like it works so much better. And I'm just going to take this brush. I'm not going to put any extra product on it. I'm just going to use that just to blend the two colors together. Okay, now I'm going in with my mascara. This is the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Curl and Hold Mascara. This is my favorite mascara at the moment. I'm going to take a couple of coats, maybe 2 or 3 coats on the top and bottom, and then I will get back to you when I am done with that. Okay, so now I just did 2 coats of mascara. I actually really liked the way it looked just with those 2 coats. But I did get a little bit of mascara on the lid. So I'm just going to use this just to wipe this away so that way no product gets taken off. Yeah. Tiny bit right here. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my bronzer, and I'm going back into this contouring palette, and I'm using the deepest shade, obviously the contour shade or the bronzer shade, and I'm dipping into this just to kind of deepen up that bronze that I already had going on. I just like going in with a powder just to kind of make sure that it's all set and everything, even though I did put powder, like a regular powder earlier. I'm just putting a little bit more. Okay, now for my blush, I'm going in with the Pink Nudes palette from Profusion, and I'm using the shades Blossom and Fantasia. I'm going to be mixing both of those today. And just smiling and putting a little bit on. I feel like that just gives it a really, really nice color. And for highlight, I'm actually going to dip into the same palette as well and use the shade Smashing. Okay guys, I'm sorry, my camera died again. Yeah, this video is a mess. But yes, I just went ahead and finished putting some highlights on my face and on my nose and on the bridge of my nose. And now I'm going to do my lipstick. But actually, before I do my lipstick, I'm going to set my face. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. I don't always set my face, but I don't know. I figured I probably needed to start setting it more. I think I've actually never set it during a video. So I'm just going to set my face. I just take a few pumps of this. And yeah, this is really good for helping your makeup stay. And it just kind of sets it more into your face. That way it kind of just sits a little better. And it doesn't really come off as easy. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of setting my face, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so while that is actually drying down, I'm just going to lightly tap that into place. And then I'm going to be taking this brush. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. And I'm just going to lightly dip this into that powder again. And I'm just going to be touching up with a little bit more powder. I'm going to put some of that mainly in my T-zone. So like top of my forehead, all right there. So just the places that I may tend to get a little more oily throughout the day. Okay, and now I'm going in with my lipstick finally, and I think this is the last step. This is the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick in the shade Give Me Mocha. I haven't used this in a while, and I'm not really going to take a lip liner or anything. I'm just going to go straight in with this color. I forgot how like deep this shade was. I like really like it. Now I'm just going in with a second layer. Yeah, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really, really like the way it all came out. Yeah, I really like the concept of just being able to do a whole eyeshadow look with dollar eyeshadows. Like, that's so crazy. Just like, first off, getting a whole palette for $1 is like insane. I love that. You can always find really good things even at like Dollar Tree or Dollar General or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm really happy with how this look ended up coming out. I like that it didn't get too deep in the crease or anything, and it still looks very simple and subtle. And this actually was a kind of simple look. You could easily make this like a more matte look if you didn't want to add the shimmer. You could just have gone in with like that light brown on the lid or something like that. But I don't know, I really like shimmers, and I mean that shimmer eyeshadow was only $1. The liquid eyeshadow was only $1, and so I thought, what better time to use it than in the $1 eyeshadow look. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, please leave me any comments down below of any recommendations that you would like for me to do. So I will see you in my next video, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye guys.